Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and in today's tutorial I'll be learning how to cut and sew a wraparound dress. Now if this is a video you're interested in, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and also turn on your notification bell to be notified whenever we post a new video. So for this tutorial I'll basically be making use of 6 yards of Ankara fabric because I'm working for a bigger size. Now if you're working for a normal size, you can actually use 4 to 5 yards of Ankara or any fabric of your choice. Now I also have my lining that we're using to turn up the area, just the up area of this dress, and it's 2 yards. So if you have any other combination that you want to be doing for your own fabric, you can choose to use 2 different Ankara for this pattern or for this style. But for me, I'll be making use of one fabric for the whole wraparound. So let's get down to the cutting. So basically I just went ahead to cut out this piece, making sure that the length of the dress is actually the length of the waistline I'm making use of. So I'll be making use of the length of the waist is 16.5. So I went ahead to cut out 17 inches, which I'll be using half inches for our stitching, our allowance. I also made sure to add extra inches to the sides of the top for our round body measurement. Now the first thing I'm just going to do is to go ahead and actually mark a line that will be serving as my starting line or as my shoulder line. Now we are cutting the back first before the front piece. So from this shoulder line, I'm just going to go ahead and mark my bust point measurement, which is 11 inches. So I'll just go ahead and extend the line. After that, I'll also mark my waist measurement, my waist length, which is 16.5. Now after marking that, I'm just going to go ahead and divide my shoulder measurement, which is 16 inches, into 2, and it will be giving me 8 inches. I'm taking the measurement from the folded edge and not from the open edge. So from here I'm just going to go ahead and mark 8 inches, which is my shoulder measurement. Then the neck width I'm working with is 3 inches. Now the depth for the back is 2 inches. So I'm just going to go ahead and curve it for my neckline. Now after that, my armhole measurement divided by 2 is actually 8 inches. So I'm just going to go ahead and mark 8 inches down. Then use my ruler to connect this shoulder measurement we had earlier to this line. Now after that, I'm just going to go ahead and come down by 1 inch from this shoulder measurement for our shoulder slope. So I'll connect this 1 inch back into this neckline that we had earlier. After that, I'll take this measurement that we have left from this 1 inch that we took from our shoulder slope all the way down here, and I'll be dividing it by 2. So we have 7 inches here. 7 inches divided by 2 is basically 3.5. So I'll go ahead and mark it, then go in by half of an inch. We are trying to create our shoulder slope, going by half of an inch. Then the next thing we are going to do is actually take our round bust measurement. The round bust measurement I'm working with is 44 inches. So 44 inches divided by 4 is 11. So on this point, I'm actually going to take the measurement and mark it on the armhole area that we had earlier. So with my curve ruler, I'm just going to go ahead and join this half inch towards this 1 inch of the shoulder slope. Then curve the round bust measurement we have back into the half inch that we got earlier. So this is what we have. After that, I'm now going to go ahead and impute our round bust, our round measurement. Now remember, we've already taken our round bust measurement, which is 11 inches here. So I'm just going to go ahead and add extra 2 inches for sewing allowance, stitching allowance. Now this stitching allowance inches is optional. You can choose to do more or less. So for the waist, I'm working with waist 45 inches. So 45 inches divided by 4 is 11.25. So from here, I'll place my ruler and get 11.25 and add extra 2 inch for stitching allowance. Now after that, I'm just going to use my curve ruler and connect these lines together, just the way I'm doing, and connect it all the way to the armhole. So that is all for the drafting of the back. Now for our dart, we'll have to divide our nipple to nipple measurement into two. So the nipple to nipple measurement I'm working with is 8 inches. So from this folded edge, I'm just going to go ahead and go in by 4 inches and extend the line all the way down to our round bust measurement, and take half of an inch on both sides. Now the dart is also optional. You can choose not to place your dart, you can choose to add your dart, but for me, I think I'll be adding my dart. So after that, this is basically what the back is looking like. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut this out. Remember to give half of an inch on your shoulder slope for your joining allowance. After cutting it out, this is what the back piece is looking like. So I'm just going to go ahead and use this back piece to actually cut out the front piece. So for the front piece, I went ahead to cut out this fabric. It's actually 2 pieces of fabric. So I'm just going to go ahead and place my back piece on top of the material we had for our front piece. Now I also went ahead to make sure that the material that I cut out is 6.5 inches. So from this edge of our fabric for the front, I'm just going to go ahead and measure 6.5 inches all the way down to the top of our front piece. So this 6.5 inches is for the wraparound. Now after marking the 6.5 inches, I went ahead to place this back piece directly on the line that we marked the 6.5 inches. Now just note that all the edges are open, there is no folded edge, because the pieces will be staying on its own. So I went ahead to place the back piece on the 6.5 inches that we had earlier, and I'm just going to go ahead and trace out the sides of this top only. Now after cutting out the sides of the front piece, from this our shoulder width, from this our neck width that we had, I'm just going to go ahead and mark it down, making sure that it is in alliance with the back piece. So I'm just going to go ahead and determine how down I want my neck area for the front to be. So basically for me, I think I'll be working with 6 inches. Now you can choose to do less or more depending on how revealing you want your front neckline to be. So 6 inches was a little bit up. So let me just go ahead and do 7 inches. So I went ahead to mark 7 inches. So I just go on and fold this back piece neck area inside and connect the neck width we had earlier to these 6 inches that we got. with our ruler. So this is what I'm doing. Now, after connecting it for our neck width, on this edge, I'm basically going to go up by 2.5 inches. At the waistline, I'll go up by 2.5 inches and mark this down. Now, after marking it down, I'm just going to go ahead and connect this line all the way down to this 2.5 inches line that we made earlier. So after connecting it, this is what it is looking like. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut this out. Cutting it out, this is what the front piece is looking like, as you can see. So the next thing I'm just going to do now is to go ahead and cut out the facing for the front and the back piece with our lining. Now the lining is optional too. You can just choose to go ahead and use your bias to turn the neck area, or you can also go ahead and fold it instead of using bias. But for me, I'm actually going to use a lining. So for the down part of this dress, we are just going to go ahead and fold our fabric in a triangular shape. Now the next thing I'm going to do now is to go ahead and determine the waist of the material that we're working with. So just like I told you earlier, the waist we are working with is waist 45 inches, and 45 inches divided by 4 is basically 10.25. So from this tip of this folded triangular shape, we are going to check where 11.25 will be rhyming in with either 2-inch allowance that we added for the upper body. Remember, we added 2-inch allowance to the upper body, so we'll definitely be adding 2-inch allowance to this down part of it. So we'll look for where 11.25 plus 2 inches, that should be 13.25. So we'll go ahead and look for where 13.25 will rhyme in this place. So basically, I've gotten the line. This is the line that it's rhymed. I'm just going to go ahead and mark this down. I'll mark the sides down. Now, after marking it down, the next thing we are going to do now is to get how the waist area will be. So from this tip that we had our triangle shape, I'm just going to measure here to where we got our round waist measurement. So here I have 16.5 inches. So I'm just going to take 16.5 inches all the way around to this waist area. Just watch the way I'm doing it, leaving it at the tip of this place. Now I'm done marking it. The purpose of this is to avoid our waist area from being straight. Now after marking it, I'm still going to go ahead and remeasure this measurement, whether it is actually giving us the 13.25 inches that we got earlier, to avoid any mistakes. So measuring it back is still giving us 13.25 and extra 3 strokes. So from this line that we got earlier, the length of the full length of this gown is 42 inches, and remember that the half top of our dress is 17 inches. So from this line, I'm just going to place 17 inches. That means I'm subtracting the upper body away from the full dress. So 17 inches all the way down. We will now go ahead and mark our full length, which is 42 inches. So instead of marking 42 inches, I'm just going to add extra 2-inch allowance for folding the hem of this dress. So placing my tape on this part, I'm just going to go ahead and mark 44 inches all the way down. Now I'm basically done marking the full length of this dress, so I'm just going to go ahead and cut this out. Now this piece that we had now is for our back piece. We're actually going to go ahead and cut out the front piece. Now after cutting down the down piece, this is what our fabric is looking like. For the front piece, I'm not going to fold this fabric into two, because we'll be cutting it per one. So I just went ahead to place my fabric on the table. So now the next thing I'm going to do now is to place my back material from this folded edge at this edge too. So I'm just going to place it. Remember that we added 6.5 inches to the front wrap top, so we are going to go ahead and replicate that at our down front piece. So from here, I'll actually make sure that this down part is giving us 6.5, which I've gotten here. So I'm just going to go ahead and use my pin to pin down this skirt part so that it does not move away from where I dropped it. Now after pinning it down, I'm just going to go ahead and use my chalk to measure out the 6.5 inches all the way down to the waist area. Basically, after marking out the 6 inches, I'm just going to go ahead and connect the end of our fabric all the way down to it, and also do the same thing for our waist area. So after that, I'm just going to go ahead and cut this out. Basically, after cutting this out, I'm actually going to go ahead and unpin the back piece away from the front one piece that we've already cut out. So with this piece, this front piece, now I'm actually going to place it on my fabric and cut it again to actually make it two pieces in total. So basically, I went ahead to cut out the other piece as you see me doing, and I also notched that part to be able to identify it. Now this is the lining piece. I went ahead to cut it out with our main fabric. So I'm just going to place the back piece right side facing each other with the lining, and make sure that I stitch the neck area with about half of an inch, and also the sides, keep that aside. Now for the front, I'm just basically not going to turn it over with the lining because we'll be needing our band before that. So I went ahead to cut out the band. The length of this band is 40 inches and the width is 5 inches, not on fold. So while folding it, after folding it, is going to be 2.5 inches. So I'm just going to go ahead and actually stitch the sides of the band with about half of an inch to close it, and also one part of the open side, and iron it out before we will actually turn our front piece with the lining. Head to turn over our back piece just like you see me do over here, and this is what it is looking like. I haven't ironed it out yet. I also went ahead to apply my dart on it, and also went ahead to fold my rope just like I told you earlier. As you can see, one side is closed while the other side is open. So for our front piece, before we do it turn up, this is actually what we are going to do. So I'm just going to bring my main fabric and bring one of our rope. So this band now, this open edge, I'm actually going to place it on these 2.5 inches that we came up with earlier. So I'm just going to go ahead and place the open edge on it and use my pin to secure it down. Then after which, I'm now going to place my lining right side facing each other to my main fabric, just like you see me doing. So I'm just going to place it this way. Now while sewing it, I'm just going to go ahead and sew with 1/2 inch on this neck area. Then when I come down to this area, I'm just going to sew it down straight. So I'm just going to replicate the same thing to the other side of our front piece. After I went ahead to actually iron our back piece, this is what I have. This is what it is looking like. And for the front piece, I also went ahead to stitch and iron in, and this is what our front pieces is looking like. As you can see, with the rope well closed, and this is what the back is looking like. Now after that, the next thing I'm just going to do now is to bring the back of our skirt piece. Now remember that we notched the center earlier, so I'm just going to go ahead and also notch the upper body. I'll also get the center and notch it. Now after notching it, I'm going to place it right side facing each other, just like you see me doing. I'll just go ahead and place it right side facing each other, and I'll go ahead and stitch it up with about 1/2 inch all the way down to the waist area. Now if you notice, our skirt part is looking more longer than our upper body. That was because we applied the dart to it. So I'm just going to go ahead and stitch that down. For the front piece, I'll go ahead and bring the skirt part and the top part too, just like we have here. So we'll go ahead and separate it. Now remember that this notched area is the center part, while this side area is what we'll be shaping. So I'm just going to bring out one piece of our front and bring out the other piece, and we'll be placing it right side facing each other. So this is the notched part, which is the center. So I'm just going to go ahead and ensure that our neck area is at that side, as you see me doing. The front piece too is going to be having an excess, so I'm just going to go ahead and this center part that will be showing outside, I'll just go ahead and fold it with about 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch inside to avoid this rough edge. So after that, I'll also do the same thing for the other side and use about 1/2 inch to join the upper body down to our skirt part. After I was done joining the upper bodies of the front to the skirt part and also the back bodies, now I'm just going to go ahead and join the shoulders together. So this is the back. So I'll go ahead and bring one piece of the front and place it this way. So I'll just go ahead and place it this way. Now it's now left for you to choose whether your lapping will be from the left or from the right. So but for me, I think I'll be lapping from the right side of my fabric. So that was why I went ahead to fold this center part and leave the other side rough, because it's going to go inside. So I just went ahead to place it this way. Now I'm going to go over to my sewing machine and join the shoulders with about half of an inch. So basically, after joining the shoulders of our dress, this is what it is looking like. So I also went ahead to cut out our sleeve. So for this sleeve is just a shirt normal sleeve. So I'll go ahead and fold the edge with about half of an inch. Then after folding it, I'll be attaching it to my sleeve before shaping the sides of the dress. Now after attaching my sleeves to it, I'll go ahead and input my body measurement and shape the sides of my dress, and also fold the hem with about the 2 inches that we added earlier while drafting. So basically, I'm actually done attaching my sleeve to my gown and also folding the edge with about 1.5 inches or 2 inches depending on the allowance you gave. And this is what our dress is looking like. So I told you that I'll be lapping with the right side of my dress. So since I'm lapping with the right side of the dress, that means that the left side will be the one going in. So since the left side is the one going in, I'm actually going to open the right side of the waist area. I don't know if you understand. If you're lapping with your right, you should be opening the left side of your waist area for the inner to pass through. But since I'm lapping with the right, I'll be opening with the left area of my dress. So this is the rough edge I did not fold because it's going inside. I had to go ahead and open up this waist area so that the band can be able to pass through, and this is what it would be looking like. So after it has passed through the waist area, you're just going to go ahead and now tie it all the way down to the waist. Now this is actually what it is looking like. Now this is the end of this tutorial. Please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and also turn on your notification bell to be notified whenever we post a new video. See you in our next video.